Okay. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the sixth floor of Central Library, where all of our history and geography materials are, which is a perfect place for us to take a few moments this morning to celebrate the completion of a journey that we talked about right here in this same space just a couple of months ago. And that is to welcome Mrs. Pence back from her journey to China and the wonderful opportunity that she had to help us as an ambassador to our friends at the Hangzhou Public Library. As you know, we have a wonderful relationship with the Hangzhou Public Library, and we're very excited about it. It is really a wonderful expression of the sister city effort that we have here in Indianapolis with Hangzhou, and the result of many great friends in the Hangzhou Sister City Committee who have worked with our own staff to explore ways that we can learn from each other and help educate our communities about the rich cultures that we both represent. We have had staff exchanges with Hangzhou. We have exchanged a great deal of material with them over the last couple of years. And today we're very excited because we're going to take a look at the newest donation from the Hangzhou Public Library. And we'll hear a little bit more about that from Mrs. Pence. These are 30 books that really represent it's titled the West Lake Literature Anthology, and I'll be honest, I can't read it because it's in Chinese. But we do have people in our community who can read it, and I think that's really important for us to be able to represent to the community an overview of the rich literary and artistic history that Hangzhou represents in China. Hangzhou is truly a cultural center for art and poetry in China. We're going to learn more about that as the years go by, but we have an opportunity right now to get kind of a comprehensive overview. I can't say enough about the importance of these sister city relationships. I just returned last night from San Francisco, which is such a multicultural community. And I come back to Indianapolis and I'm thinking, you know, the world's really getting smaller out there every single day. Here in Indianapolis, we don't always feel that the way you might feel it in a city like San Francisco. And so I feel even more committed to our efforts with the various sister cities, and in particular with Hangzhou, to try to spread the word about other cultures so that Hoosiers will understand where they fit in that very complex, big, crazy world, and have more appreciation for the wonderful and very diverse cultures that all of our friends from other countries have experienced and that we can share over time. So lucky to continue these relationships and to have great friends to help us strengthen the relationships. And on that note, I would like to welcome Mrs. Pence to the mic because she has just done a wonderful piece of ambassadorship for us. Welcome. Welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. You know, it just seems like it was yesterday when we were getting ready to head over to China, and we all started here and didn't really know what was ahead of us. I would have to say on the trip to China that this day at Hangzhou Library was my favorite day. I just want to thank Jackie because she established this relationship. It was very obvious to me when I met Mr. Chu that, you know, this was a very close relationship and they had a very strong bond. What we did was, even though this was a trade mission trip, there were a lot of spouses of business leaders in Indiana who went with us. And so a lot of what I did was kind of hosting those men and women. But I made it clear to them before we went on the trip that I wanted one full day in Hangzhou where we could do an exchange with the Hangzhou Public Library, because I'd made that promise to Jackie. And I must tell you, I think for a lot of the delegation, this was the favorite day. I just want to tell you a little bit about what we did. And you'll see in the picture, there are a lot of people who came with us. A lot of the delegation members chose not to go to the meetings with Mike that day and came to the Hangzhou Public Library. Mr. Chu was absolutely delightful. I mean, he is one of the most friendly people I have ever met in my life, even though we didn't share any language communication. Everything was through a translator. We really made a strong bond. They met us, we got off of a bus and they met us right there. And from that moment, we just felt so welcomed. The first thing we did was go up to the library area, and Mr. Chu actually helped design this library. So you can imagine his pride in showing us every little nook and cranny and this area over here, and it was just fabulous. And you can just see from the pictures, it's an amazing facility. But the first thing we did was the book exchange, and so it was kind of the formal part of the visit. And he gave us one book, but these are 30 books here. It's a whole collection, and there are operas, there are short stories. There, at least I'm believing that that's what's in there. I guess I don't know. But it was just a wonderful gift. They just sent these to us. That's why we waited so long to start this acceptance, because we just received them. But the wonderful thing was when we went up to the open area where we were going to do the acceptance and gift exchange of the books, there were all of these photos and paintings and prints of Indianapolis. And it made all of us feel so welcome to be able to step into this relationship that was already started. And it was so, so warm, and they were so welcoming. I just want to share with you a little bit, you're going to get a feel for Mr. Chu, a little bit of what his introduction was when he was welcoming me. He went through a whole long recourse where he's explaining how we're sister cities and what we're doing there. And then in the end, he said, let's see. After the ceremony, we will show to the First Lady our calligraphy art and tea art, and hope that she may learn the way to write a Chinese idiom. And this is the idiom right down here. And it means highest, well, I'll tell you, what it actually means is the highest level of goodness is just like the moral character of water, which moistens everything on earth without causing any conflict. I see the virtues of the First Lady just like the character of water. At the same time, I wish that our relationship may, like water, mingle together and our friendship would last long forever. Is that the sweetest introduction? I think that's probably the nicest introduction I'll ever have. But so when we went to the calligraphy part next, it actually, you start over here. I did learn a little bit. Highest virtue like water. And it was very wonderful because at the Hangzhou Public Library, they actually have a resident artist. And since I'm an artist myself, I was really excited to meet him. He was absolutely wonderful. You'll see him on the video as well. And he was the one who showed us how to do the calligraphy. But the great thing was everybody in the delegation got to do their own piece of calligraphy. So everybody got to step up and do their own. Now, the neat thing about this for me is that Mr. Che actually carved me this is my name in Chinese, and this is the stamp that in Chinese art you actually stamp your signature on the left-hand side. I'm sure you've seen this before in museums, and so he did one that actually says Karen Pence. So I was so moved by that when we got home that I actually asked my staff to send him and Mr. Chu one of my own watercolors of a peony, our state flower, because I know this took him a very long time. First of all, to figure out how to do my name, but then to do it for me so that I had my own stamp. I didn't get the little red wax that goes with it, so I tried to use red marker on this and quickly stamp my thank you notes to them. I don't know if they figured out that's what I was trying to do, but But the wonderful thing was then, after everybody had had this wonderful experience, then they didn't stop there. They took us downstairs for a formal tea ceremony, and everybody got to drink the green tea, which is from there. It's from Hangzhou, and they gave everybody a little can of green tea to take home. So the whole ceremony, the whole experience was just very, very moving, but it's just a privilege for me to be able to step into that. I know Jackie's heading over in October, and I'm envious of her getting to spend that much time with the people at the Hangzhou Public Library, because you can tell this relationship means a lot to them and it means a lot to us. And they made sure that we had lots of areas where we felt at home. When we went to the calligraphy area, they actually had a whole display of all of the books that Jackie has sent them in the past, from the Hungry Caterpillar, all the way on up. And they had little pictures there as well. So they were just very welcoming, and it was a wonderful experience, and I really enjoyed doing it. So I hope everybody here will enjoy the exchange that they sent here. I hope that our community in Indianapolis and Indiana who do read Chinese will enjoy these books for many years to come. Thank you.
I actually think, Mrs. Pence, that your explanation of your visit is something that the people who are members of the Hangzhou Sister City Committee might really enjoy hearing. We should try to arrange that. Thank you for being such a good ambassador over there. It is amazing, and I'm looking forward to going in October. I will be speaking at a conference on the role of public libraries in education here in the United States. So I welcome any emails that any of you want to send me about important comments to be shared, but the fact that they have asked us to discuss that, I think, is a real comment on the respect that they have for the work that we're doing in the community. And so I'm looking forward for a chance to share some more insights with them. All of this work with Hangzhou would not be possible if members of our staff had not laid some very important groundwork over the years. And I especially want to compliment Jessica Moore for her work with the Immigrant Outreach Program and all of the sister cities, the staff in PPD who have constantly helped make these exchanges possible, and all of you who have welcomed our visitors when they've come. This is how we win friends and influence people and help the folks from Indianapolis understand that there's a big old world out there, and we all need to know a little bit more about it. So thank you again for this, and we hope the public will come and explore this collection. Our World Languages collection is on the fourth floor on the east end. There's a lot of different languages represented down there, and certainly the Chinese materials will be greatly enhanced after this last donation. So thank you all for being here, and let's continue to explore our world. Thank you. This has nothing to do with Hangzhou, but we do think Mrs. Pence needs a summer reading club t-shirt. Don't you all think? So, okay, there you go. This year's summer reading theme is beats and books, and we think it's important that the word get out, so if you'd help us with that.
Well, I have to tell you, I got one of the T-shirts last summer when I came and read, and I actually threw it on this morning to go chase our beagle down Meridian Street. So I do wear these T-shirts.